What's going on, everyone? TomGorian back again for the first time in over a year. I'm back league racing on the F1 game. What you're seeing right now is my very first league race since RFL Season 5 on F1 2019. This is SFR Supreme Formula Racing, and we do have a couple of familiar names in this lobby. Vapid Coot, Big Will, Kimmy as well, Kirby as well. And yeah, this is SFR Brazil. This is not like the beginning of the season, this is like pretty much the second half of this championship. And yeah, as you can tell right now, we're here in Brazil getting ready for this race, my first ever league race in over a year. And to be honest, I wasn't really expecting much of pretty much anything. I didn't know about how quick the grid was. I didn't know which car until I got told a couple of hours before this race, the session. I'm in the racing point in this for this league, and as you can see, we have rain. It's going to be a dry qualifying but also a wet race, which is going to be very interesting. Well, the first part of the race is going to be intermediate conditions, but when it comes to the midway stage and the end, it's going to be dry. So going on strategy and trying to see what the best strategy is for this track, knowing the rain and knowing everything else, that's going to be a very interesting thought for this race. But if you do enjoy this content, if you do prefer this content over the regular career mode, let me know, like the video and subscribe, and I'll keep you guys posted and updated every single week. The next race is Mexico, I think. We race Saturday, same time as the old RFL. I think it's 8 o'clock. And yeah, there are some pretty different rules for this league compared to RFL. If there are more than 14 other drivers on the grid, then we do have full qualifying, so Q1, Q2, Q3. We didn't have 14 here, so that's why we're doing short qualifying. And also when it comes to tyre temperatures, that they are on carcass and surface, which is the realistic option. So that's another feature to just be noticed of. Anyway, about this qualifying session, everyone started on the mediums for this qualifying session, and I was the only one who actually put the first lap on, well, apart from Big Will of course. I was the first one to go on the soft tyres, and this lap right now is actually a decent lap. Coming across the line now, second place to Fapikut. You might have heard of him before, on the mediums. And as you can see, we did a 178, which is 6 tenths. 6 tenths. Yeah, 6 tenths. Slower, but right now we're actually in the midfield. For my first ever league race on this game, that's actually not that bad. And I think I was on similar pace with Kirby. He's another one who used to race in the old RF. A lot of similar names, and I think there's going to be another similar name next week for Mexico. But yeah, I think this qualifying session did go well for my first ever proper time. And yeah, 9 races left. Well, 8 now, including this one. And yeah, all I just want to do with this league is just get used to the game and probably get ready for F1 2021. But here we go, starting a lap of Sao Paulo, braking in towards the first corner. Make sure you don't lock up on the front right. Want to get good momentum in towards the center S's. 10-3 is flat out. Open up the DRS. Well, if it's auto, then you don't need to. Braking in towards 4, I gained a lot of time throughout here, even though the Delta says otherwise. I feel like I'm braking around about 30-40 meters earlier before pretty much everyone else. 10, 5 and 6, just lift off, just let the car do that. You need a bit of high wings for that. Now entering sector 2, the tight twisty, turn 7, downhill for 8, shift into second, early shift into third, up the hill for turn number 9. Very easy to lock up the front right, as you can see there. Watch out for the rear. Turn 10 is flat out, and then turn 11 is pretty much the final real corner. Had a lot of curb exiting that corner, up the hill, and as you can see, we're going to improve this lap by 3 tenths. You want to go to the left hand side for the shortest possible route to the line. Across the line we go, and it's P5 in Brazil, but as you can see at the end of the session it is P6 because Carbon out-qualified us in this session. So P6 for my first ever league race. As you can see, Constant Ryan on pole 167, and Cam as well. Fapid and Ryan are in a championship fight in this league. Tez Leclerc in 4th with Carbon in the Alfa Romeo in 5th. And yeah, as you can see, now we're entering the race. The track is wet. It's intermediate conditions, so we're going to start on the inters, but the track will dry up as we enter the midway stage for pretty much the second half. So what I'm planning is doing a one stop, going from inters to the hards, because that can be done. You can do a one stop around this track, as long as you don't pit on lap 1, 2, 3 or 4. Anywhere after lap 6, I think the hards can go all the way. So yeah, that's my strategy for this race, to do one less stop than everyone else. Now you might notice I'm in P5 right now, even though I qualified P6. There's a weird glitch on this game which I didn't know of until this race. Apparently, if you start, well, because Ryan didn't join before the qualifying session, he joined, you know, in the middle of it. So he qualified on pole, but he's starting last, and I don't think he has a setup. So that's a very weird glitch, especially for Ryan, since he's fighting for a championship. And yeah, that's bad luck on his behalf. But anyway, getting ready for, here we go, for 5 red lights for my first league race on F1 2020. It's lights out and away we go in Brazil. Intermediate conditions. It's a tentative start there by us as we go in towards turn 1. The best thing that I hope is that I don't crash or I don't spin out. I just want to get through the first 2 corners. And look how slow we're all going, entering the and exiting the centre S's. But anyway, exiting turn 3, it's all about confidence. The first lap, especially on intermediate conditions, you just want to get a feel for the car, especially if you don't have a wet setup. If it's dry, you just want to get a feel for what you can get away with, what you can't get away with, and just where the grip is. And as you can see, there's already a bit of a gap there between myself and Jackson, Kirby and Big Will, entering sector 2 right now. I tried to go around the outside, but it just wasn't going to work. So that first lap was all about building confidence for the last, for the next 35 laps. And as you can see, when the race is going on, the track will get drier and the confidence will be more with each passing lap. Anyway, it's lap 4. I'm trying to find out about the weather, and it will be drying. It's drying pretty soon, so I'm guessing around about lap 13, 14, it might be dry, as Kirby in the Renault retires. I think he crashed with Dom the Noodle, I'm not sure. And we have a full caution safety car for this race. By the way, shout out to him as well, Kirby as well. After this, he was actually my race engineer for the remainder of this race, and he did a really good job, I can't lie. Giving me feedback on cars behind, cars in front, cars who have penalties, cars who've made another stop. And yeah, if you want to have a race engineer, if you want to hire one, and you're sick and tired of Jeff, just message Kirby Chief26 on Twitter. I'll leave his link in the description. But yeah, anyway, we're back under white, green flags in Brazil, and it's damp. The track is drying out. Carbon goes a little bit wide there. I have to avoid action, and I think around about now, I thought Ryan made contact with us, but it turns out I think Ryan would made contact with Big Will, and yeah, on his screen he was nowhere near me. Anyway, coming in towards turn 4, can we look down the inside? No, we can't, and we're gonna have to let Carbon go as we enter the next phase of the race. Dry time. It's lap 10 actually. That the track is now dry. I'm going to go on the hard tyres. I'm going to do the one stop. I'm going to go from intermediates to the hards, and that way I don't lose any time. And there might be a couple of drivers who are in the top 4, Fapid, Ryan, Leclerc, and I think there might be another one that I might be missing, I'm not sure. But yeah, Cam as well. But let's be honest, I'm not in their race. I'm in my own race. I'm doing a one stop, and I think Leclerc is doing the exact same strategy as well. But You know, Leclerc's very quick, and you know, I don't think we're on the pace with him. But Dom the Noodle, who pitted one lap earlier for super softs, well, I've said it again, soft tyres, he pitted one lap before us and he's gained a massive undercut. And now he's, I think he's going to be ahead of Big Will, and yes he is, as we get a virtual safety car, not even one whole lap after the pit lane. Anyway, safety car, the virtual safety car is underway, and we've got a big run on Carbon as well. We've absolutely nailed that virtual safety car restart. He's going to go defensive, we're going to go around the outside. It's the Alfa Romeo versus the Racing Point, down into turn 1. Can we outbrake him on the hard tyres? It's cold, remember, and we don't have enough grip in towards turn 2, and no, we can't get the move. And to be honest, I didn't want to take that chance with Carbon. Just a very cold track with the hardest compound, and I didn't want to take that risk, and I pulled out. So I let Carbon go. Anyway, Noodle is on the soft, so I'm like, okay, if Noodle can just catch up to Carbon on the soft tyres, maybe I can follow him. But it turns out Noodle wasn't gaining enough time for my liking, so I just pretty much let him go for nothing. And yeah, this was the point in the race where I shouldn't have really let him go, because he really started to hold me up. Now, as you're about to see, I'm going to try and overtake him. There's my first track limits warning, but I get a good exit out of turn 3, rich and overtake with the DRS. He goes defensive, I'm going to go around the outside, I'm going to try and do the switch back here in towards turn 4, but he actually covers it off quite nicely as we enter sector number 2. So on the next lap I'm going to try again, lap 19, go a little bit more wider into 1, but it's just that run into 2 that I get that just, it gives me a great run and acceleration in towards turn 3. I'm going to be all over, I'm going to go into the inside, he forces me onto the grass, but we're still side by side. I still have DRS in towards turn 4, side by side, we touch wheels, and I'm on the curb, but I have to back out, and for some reason he gets the position once again. Now lap 21. Again, I'm trying to get past Dom, the Noodle, pretty much. And as you can see, once again, DRS overtake. I'm trying to overtake him. He goes defensive. I have to go around the outside. I have to break around about 60 meters. Can I get the move stop? He forces me. He pushes me off the track. And yeah, Dom the Noodle retains position. Bit of a shame, considering that he wasn't in my race. We're doing completely different strategies. He's doing one more stop, as you can see now. He goes into the pits, and all that time that he's just battled with me, he's just wasted. So yeah, it's my fault really. I shouldn't have let him by, but yeah, I'm doing a one stop, I'm going all the way to the end, and he's doing a second stop, and I think he's going on mediums. Is it mediums or another set of softs? I think it's another set of soft tyres. But yeah, lap 23 out of 30, well lap 24 now out of 36, and the top 4 start to pit. I think Constant Ryan, Carbon is in the pits, Ryan is also in Big Will as well. He's also, well, he's behind me, but we jump Ryan, but he's on the soft tyres, so by the next lap he's gonna be overtaking me. But this was pretty much the best I was doing the entire race, considering that I was doing the one stop and I was ahead of everyone. So as you can see now, Ryan's not in my race. I'm not going to hold him up. Vapid will probably like me too, because him and Ryan are fighting for the championship, but I've decided to let him go. It's pretty much pointless trying to screw my own race over while trying to hold Ryan off, considering he's in a complete different race towards me. But yeah, as you can see, Cam is in the pits as well, and he's also on the same strategy as Ryan. So that little group of Vapid, Ryan, Cam, and I think there's someone else. I don't know who though. I think it's Leclerc. Leclerc is leading this race. Leclerc. So it's Leclerc, Vapid, Ryan, and Cam. They're all are in this group where they're just doing the one stop, and they're the quickest drivers that we have on this grid. Nearly used the back end there, exiting turn 1, but I had to let them go. They're not in my race. No point trying to hold them up. I think that was the smartest play that I could have done that entire race. So yeah, now entering lap 32 onto 33, and this is my fastest lap of the race. The tyres didn't feel too bad, but as you can see, 110.9. Oh no, it's 110.5. Excuse me. That was the fast lap. Actually, I did a 1:10.4. That was my fastest lap of the race. But yeah, lap 36 is the final lap of this race, and Carbon has actually caught up to me. He's on the soft tyres now. So he's caught up as TES Leclerc wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Vapid got a penalty, and I think he's fared. Ryan is second, and Leclerc wins the race. But we're going to come home in our first league race on F1 2020 in 5th place. And to be honest, that's not bad, considering I didn't know where I was going to be pace-wise, how quick the grid was, and yeah, to make a one-stop work from inters to hards. Yeah, I think I showed some good pace today, but not enough to challenge the top 3. But I think over time, I think as you know, the more we race, I think the better chance I'll have to compete and, you know, get on the podium, if you will. I think I've got good chances. I think I've got a good chance to get on a podium at least once a season, especially if it's a chaotic race. But yeah, Leclerc wins. Ryan is in second. Vapid is in third. Cam is in fourth, and we finish 5th place in this race. And that's that SFR Brazil. 10 points to the championship in my first race back. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more F1 League racing content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.